Hello everybody. Sorry for not recording videos for a pretty long time. I have some new duties on my job and I really don't have much time now. But that was also good to think that maybe I'm hurry with reading the Bible. The purpose of this YouTube channel is not to read the Bible. The purpose is to encourage you to stay in good, to stay with good, even when it's difficult and even when it seems that there is just little good and many and much evil. So we will slow down, we will read less, and God bless you. The Lord said to Moses, "Give the Israelites these instructions. When you have entered the land that I will give you for your homesteads, if you make to the Lord a sweet-smelling oblation from the herd or from the flock in holocaust, in fulfillment of a vow, or as a free-will offering, or for one of your festivals, whoever does so shall also present to the Lord a cereal offering consisting of a tenth of an ephah of fine flour mixed with a fourth of a hin of oil, as well as a libation of a fourth of a hin of wine, with each lamb sacrificed in holocaust or otherwise. With each sacrifice of a ram you shall present a cereal offering of 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with a third of a hin of oil, and a libation of a third of a hin of wine, thus making a sweet-smelling offering to the Lord. When you sacrifice an ox as a holocaust or in fulfillment of a vow or as a peace offering to the Lord, with it you shall present a cereal offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with half a hin of oil, and a libation of half a hin of wine as a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. The same is to be done for each ox, ram, lamb, or goat. Whatever the number you offer, do the same for each of them. All the native-born shall make these offerings in the same way whenever they present a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. Likewise, in any future generation, any alien residing with you permanently or for a time who presents a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord shall do as you do. There is but one rule for you and for the resident alien, a perpetual rule for all your descendants. Before the Lord, you and the alien are alike, with the same law and the same application of it for the alien residing among you as for yourselves. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and tell them, when you enter the land into which I will bring you, and begin to eat of the food of that land, you shall offer the Lord a contribution consisting of a cake of your first batch of dough. You shall offer it just as you offer a contribution from the threshing floor. Throughout your generations, you shall give a contribution to the Lord from your first batch of dough. When through inadvertence you fail to carry out any of these commandments which the Lord gives to Moses and through Moses to you, from the time the Lord first issues the commandment down through your generations, if the community itself unwittingly becomes guilty of the fault of inadvertence, the whole community shall offer the holocaust of one young bull as a sweet-smelling oblation pleasing to the Lord, along with its prescribed cereal offering and libation, as well as one he-goat as a sin offering. Then the priest shall make atonement for the whole Israelite community, thus they will be forgiven the inadvertence for which they have brought their holocaust as an oblation to the Lord. Not only the whole Israelite community, but also the aliens residing among you shall be forgiven, since the fault of inadvertence affects all the people. However, if it is an individual who sins inadvertently, he shall bring a yearling she-goat as a sin offering, and the priest shall make atonement before the Lord for him who sinned inadvertently. When atonement has been made for him, he will be forgiven. You shall have but one law for him who sins inadvertently, whether he be a native Israelite or an alien residing with you. But anyone who sins defiantly, whether he be a native or an alien, insults the Lord and shall be cut off from among his people. Since he has despised the word of the Lord and has broken his commandment, he must be cut off. He has only himself to blame. While the Israelites were in the desert, a man was discovered gathering wood on the Sabbath day. Those who caught him at it brought him to Moses and Aaron and the whole assembly, but they kept him in custody, for there was no clear decision as to what should be done with him. Then the Lord said to Moses, "This man shall be put to death. Let the whole community stone him outside the camp." So the whole community led him outside the camp and stoned him to death, as the Lord has commanded Moses. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and tell them that they and their descendants must put tassels on the corners of their garments, fastening each corner tassel with a violet cord. When you use these tassels, let the sight of them remind you to keep all the commandments of the Lord without going wantonly astray after the desires of your hearts and eyes. Thus you will remember to keep all my commandments and be holy to your God. I, the Lord, am your God, who as God brought you out of Egypt, that I, the Lord, may be your God." Korach, son of Ishar, son of Kohath, son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, son of Palu, son of Reuben, took 250 Israelites who were leaders in the community, members of the councils and men of note. They stood before Moses and held an assembly against Moses and Aaron, to whom they said, "Enough from you, the whole community, all of them are holy. The Lord is in their midst. Why then should you set yourselves over the Lord's congregation?" When Moses heard this, he fell prostrate. Then he said to Korah and to all his band, "May the Lord make known tomorrow morning who belongs to him and who is the Holy One, and whom he will have draw near to him. Whom he chooses he will have draw near him. Do this, take your censers, Korah and all his band, and put fire in them and place incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. He who the Lord then chooses is the Holy One. Enough from you, Levites." Moses also said to Korah, "Listen to me, you Levites. Is it too little for you that the God of Israel has singled you out from the community of Israel to have you draw near him for the service of the Lord's dwelling and to stand before the community to minister for them? He has allowed you and your kinsmen, the descendants of Levi, to approach him, and yet you now seek the priesthood too. It is therefore against the Lord that you and all your band are conspiring. For what has Aaron done that you should grumble against him?" Moses summoned Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, but they answered, "We will not go. Are you not satisfied with having led us here away from a land flowing with milk and honey, to make us perish in the desert, that you must now lord it over us? Far from bringing us to a land flowing with milk and honey, or giving us fields and vineyards for our inheritance, will you also gouge out our eyes? No, we will not go." Then Moses became very angry and said to the Lord, "Pay no heed to their offering. I have never taken a single ass from them, nor have I wronged any one of them." Moses said to Korah, "You and all your band shall appear before the Lord tomorrow, you and they and Aaron too. Then each of you 250 followers shall take his own censer, put incense in it, and offer it to the Lord, and you and Aaron, each with his own censer, shall do the same. So they all took their censers and laying incense on the fire they had put in them, they took their stand by the entrance of the meeting tent along with Moses and Aaron. Then when Korah had assembled all his band against them at the entrance of the meeting tent, the glory of the Lord appeared to the entire community. And the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Stand apart from this band, that I may consume them at once." But they fell prostrate and cried out, "O God, God of the spirits of all mankind, will one man's sin make you angry with the whole community?" The Lord answered Moses, "Speak to the community and tell them, withdraw from the space around the dwelling of Korah, Dathan and Abiram." Moses, followed by the elders of Israel, arose and went to Dathan and Abiram. Then he warned the community, "Keep away from the tents of these wicked men and do not touch anything that is theirs. Otherwise you too will be swept away because of all their sins." When Dathan and Abiram had come out and were standing at the entrances of their tents with their wives and sons and little ones, Moses said, "This is how you shall know that I was the Lord who sent me to do all I have done, and that it was not I who planned it. If these men die an ordinary death, merely suffering the fate common to all mankind, then it was not the Lord who sent me. But if the Lord does something entirely new, and the ground opens its mouth and swallows them alive down into the netherworld, with all belonging to them, then you will know that these men have defied the Lord." No sooner had he finished saying all this, then the ground beneath them split open, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them and their families, and all of Korah's men, and all their possessions. They went down alive to the netherworld, with all belonging to them. The earth closed over them, and they perished from the community. But all the Israelites near them fled at their shrieks, saying, "The earth might swallow us too." So they withdrew from the space around the dwelling of Korah, Dathan and Abiram, and fire from the Lord came forth, which consumed the 250 men who were offering the incense.